So when it comes to camera gear, I've always been someone who has opted for the cheaper thing or the cheaper version of a certain thing. I try to just convince myself to save the money and get something that'll get the job done. And that's been the mindset for me for a long time now. But recently I decided that it was time to try to break away from that. So yeah, this is my new Leica M6, or new to me. So I'm not gonna lie, this was one of the most difficult gear purchases that I've ever made. And that's partially due to the cost, but it's also because I just wasn't sure if I needed a camera like this. You know, I was looking at other more affordable options like the Voigtlander Bessa R2A and the Leica M4P, but deep down I knew I wanted the M6, but I think I was just trying to convince myself to, you know, save money, get something that will do 90% of the job, and then kind of wait to get the M6 later down the line. But I was able to kind of drown that thought out and just get the M6, and I'm really happy that I did. So this one that I have is the classic version with the 0.72 magnification, obviously all in black. And it took me a few weeks of scouring eBay and Facebook Marketplace and like every online marketplace I could potentially think of. But yeah, it took me a while to find one that was a really clean copy and everything was working perfectly, and it was basically within my budget range. So the guy who sold me this on eBay actually left a few of his own accessories on this camera, which was really nice. And that includes the black Leica dot, a soft shutter button, and a rubber eyepiece. And then Faisal gave me his green artisan and artist strap, which is really nice. And yeah, when the camera got delivered to me and I opened the box, it literally looked like it was only used a handful of times. And initially the seller had it listed for a little bit outside of my budget range, but just kind of seeing how clean the camera was, and obviously everything was working properly, and you know, I was pretty certain that I wouldn't need to put money into a CLA for it, I was able to kind of justify paying a higher price for it. You know, I initially offered a little bit less, and then after some back and forth, we, agreed on a price. So yeah, it was a little bit outside my budget range, but I also sold a few pieces of gear, including my Ricoh GR3X and my Tamron 28 to 75 millimeter zoom lens. So definitely helped me in justifying the price. But honestly, like, even if I didn't sell those pieces of gear, I think I still got a really good deal on this. It was good. It was good? Yeah. So for now, the main lenses that I'm going to be using are the Voigtlander Color Scope R 35 f2.5, which was my main lens for the CL, and the TT Artisan 50mm f1.4 spherical that they recently sent to me. I do want to invest in some more premium glass in the future, but because 35 and 50 are my two favorite focal lengths, I feel pretty covered in that regard. I might consider picking up a 90mm and a 28mm later in the future, but for now, you know, I'm pretty happy with what I have. So at the time that I'm filming this portion of the video, I have shot 4 rolls on the M6, and they're currently over at Gelatin Labs getting processed, which is funny because I'm filming this and I haven't even seen a single photo that I've taken on this camera, so hope there are some keepers on there. Anyways, what's interesting is that this is the first camera that I'm actually using with its internal light meter, which is something I've never done in the past, even though the cameras that I have owned do have internal meters, but I just never chose to use them. Instead, I would use like a phone app or a Kex, shoe mount meter, and my process has gotten significantly faster. There was a point where I was considering just getting the M4P and metering in that same regard like I used to. And, you know, I would just tell myself that like the process would have just stayed the same. But I convinced myself, and I think my friends convinced me, to put a little bit more money into the M6 because I would really benefit from having and using the internal light meter. And yeah, I'm glad I did, because it's been so different and it has allowed me to keep my eye into the viewfinder, and the shooting experience has gotten a lot faster. And I feel like that's kind of obvious, but it was a really good decision in hindsight. Also, if something were to happen to this camera where the meter breaks or some other part of it were to malfunction, I know that I could get it serviced pretty easily. And I don't know if I could say the same if I were to get something like a Bessa R2A, which, you know, I haven't done any research, but I feel like getting a camera like that repaired is a little bit more of a challenging process than a camera like this, because there are still a lot of places that service and repair M6s. So that was kind of a relief, knowing that there's a good possibility I can get this repaired if I needed to in the future. I know that some people don't exactly love the loading mechanism on the M6, but for me, it's miles better than the CL, so that headache of loading film, which I have encountered in the past, is mostly gone. I'm still trying to perfect my technique when it comes to this camera and just knowing how much film I need to pull out of the canister, but for the most part, it's really straightforward.
Let's try that again.
Nope.
Still not long enough?
What the fuck, dude? There we go.
This is gonna get spliced as if it looks like you know what you're doing.
Yeah, for sure. I got it. You could stop recording. Stop recording.
Can I see what you did? So what you didn't see there is I actually loaded the camera for him.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I think with this purchase, I'm definitely going to be shooting film way more consistently, because now I have a camera that, you know, I actually trust and that works properly and actually gets me excited to use it. I also want to kind of narrow down the film stocks that I'm going to be shooting with this camera. Over the last 2 years, I've shot like 25 or 30 different film stocks just to experiment and see what I like and see what I'm willing to put my money into. But I definitely want a more cohesive body of work when it comes to my analog stuff. So I think, you know, CineStill 800T will definitely still be like my more expensive, faster speed film. But I'm also going to be shooting a lot of Fuji 400 and Kodak Gold 200, which are more, you know, affordable film stocks. And then, of course, on other occasions, I will use other film stocks for certain things and certain projects. But yeah, like I said, I just want a more cohesive body of work and get to learn a select few film stocks a lot better. But yeah, this is like the most exciting purchase that I've made in a while, and I'm just excited to put a bunch of rolls through this camera this upcoming winter and just get a lot more comfortable with it moving forward. Also, the relationship that I have with Gelatin Labs as an ambassador is something that I'm really grateful for, and definitely factored into the decision to get this camera. So if you are looking for a new lab to send your film to, then definitely consider checking them out. The quality is always top notch. And if you do find yourself in New York City, they have a lab located in the East Village, which you can stop by to drop off some rolls and also pick up some film. So definitely make sure to do that. I have 5 rolls in these guys. 4 of them are from the M6. I shot one of these CineStill rolls pushed, one stop. Okay. And I put them all in the bag and I forgot which one it was. But I think we figured it out because I was filming.
Oh, and you watched.
Filming, and I kind of looked back, and I think it might be this one. So I'm just gonna, should I write it on?
Yeah, write it there, and then I'll put that through as a separate item here. And you said that was from the
M6.
M6.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll do flat.
I have so many cameras that
There he goes. There goes my film. But anyways, that is the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any videos that you'd like to see on the channel in the future, let me know, because I'm kind of starting to run out of ideas, but gonna finish the year off strong. This is gonna come with me on one more trip that we have planned before the end of the year, so excited for that. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you soon.